evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me here live on Avon Psychic Radio and Moonstack TV. This is our episode 13 of Zsuzsanna Medium, the show Zsuzsanna Medium, and I'm your host, Zsuzsanna Hörcsög, and it is again just delight and joy and happiness to be back. So if you are new to this show, thanks very much for stopping by and staying and listening and engaging in the conversations. And then if you are coming back, a very, very special thank you for you for being here. Now, today, as I promised last time, I'm going to continue the conversation what I started last week. So if you were here, if you listened to that episode 12, this is just a continuation, the last show of Anna Frank, and then the information what we have received and the teachings what we have received. And I tell you what, I am one of the people who don't believe in coincidences, and I really, really feel that you are, since you are here on this channel listening to us, you are another such person who might be just exploring that conversation that there are no coincidences, because everything what is happening to us in any given moment, it is happening to us for our greater consciousness, for our own benefit. And then always there is a reason why we are receiving certain messages. And if you were here last time, you remember I said to you, I did not invite this conversation. I'm just a medium, just like any of the other presenters here on this show, any of the other mediums you have ever met. And then, in fact, I'm a person just like you with everyday life. And then for some reason, the frequency found this environment, and then certain information needs to come forward. So my only job is just to sit back and allow that conversation to come forward and share it with you. So here we go. Now, there are no coincidences, but why I'm saying this, listen to this. If you like details, this is what happened since last week, since last Tuesday. Now, if you love the small details, the last conversation on Tuesday, last week Tuesday, took place on the 30th of March. 2 days after I received the first part of this conversation, And few days after the show, I was actually looking for a photo. I wanted to create a little poster, but I found a little picture, I found that all the pictures, all the photos of Anna Frank and the family are copyrighted materials. It's absolutely fine. I realized I don't need a photo. But then what came to my awareness, I found a very, very small stamp, an old stamp, a photo of an old stamp. And on that stamp, I found her birthday, and then I found the day when she passed. Now, I still don't know the day when she was born, because I said I'm not looking up on information. I'm not doing any search. I'm not doing any research. I don't want to know anything. I don't want any information to come to my own awareness, my physical me. I don't want to have anything knowledge as such. But then what was really important, or what was very interesting for me, and it really stopped me for a minute, because I found the day when she passed. Now, remember again, the last show took place on the 30th of March. She passed on the 31st of March, 1945. So it really made me pause a little bit, 72 years ago, this soul from spirit, out of the consciousness, any other spirit, any other teacher might have come forward, but then we had this young lady's soul coming forward because she wants to teach us something. She did it just before the anniversary of her passing, the 72nd year of passing, and she started giving me the conversation, started giving us the conversation 3 days before that time. And all happened during the week leading up to Easter, or the Passover and everything. So it really made me pause. It really made me not think, because I don't want to think about anything, but then it really made me just, wow, there are no coincidences how things are happening and why certain things are happening in our lives. And then why I'm sharing this, because just like how, I'm always talking about is just allow, trust, allow, and surrender. And this is what I need to do. I do not know anything. I do not want to have the knowledge, because I know that would limit any such conversation, but then just to allow any information to come forward. So what I'm going to do today, just take it. There are no coincidences. We can ask a question, why is it that is happening? Everything was happening at the same time. Quite quite interestingly, really. So here we go. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue with the conversation. And I tell you, yesterday, exactly sort of around the time, I sat down and reading the same book what I was reading the week before, how everything was started. And then more information started coming forward. So it's quite different because it's more of the historical time explaining what happened in history, what happened after her passing, what happened with the family after passing, the place where they were taken. So there is description, there are dates, there are names given, and I am truly, truly just some conversations, really historical conversations. And I really felt that this afternoon when I started typing again, started doing my part of the work to transcribe everything, then I found that I need to take things in little bits, little steps, because it's getting like a big conversation. So if you are here right now listening while I'm talking live on the 6th of April, 2021, or if you are listening to me replay any of the channels on Ask One Radio or anywhere we are listening or anywhere we are, then you might be experiencing, you might be witnessing a conversation developing into something else, but something, I just have to put it there. I just have to let it go. But then what I want to do today, I'm going to continue with last week's conversation because I promised and I feel I need to respect the conversation. So if you are waiting for a call, if you would like to have a reading with me, just please bear with me, be patient, come, find me on my webpage, zsuzannamedium.com, or find me on my social media page where I find, sometimes you can find me doing live readings or any other conversations. So that's the space. And I'm going to be back next week taking callers and conversations. But here we go. If you are interested in history, if you are interested in this conversation, if you are interested in what she's bringing forward, just sit back and open your mind, open your heart, and then just listen. Everything what was given here was recorded, everything in first tense or first person and present tense, exactly how I received the conversation. So just a recap. In fact, you know what? If you did not listen, if you for some reason missed episode 12 of my show last week, before you go on to listening to this one or watching this one, make sure that you go back to the last week's, because that is where I explained all the background, I explained everything, how the whole conversation, or in what way the conversation developed itself, how it came forward, everything, But right now, I'm just going to summarize it and move forward. So here we go. Cautious of time. So here we go. The last time she said, just a keywords here. So she was saying that I can see nobody who would not be strong enough to manage what he or she needs to manage. If you feel that you are confused, she was encouraging us to go into our heart center, and then from the heart, just sending us the vibration, sending up to the highest of the highest, and then keeping our heart open so that we are receiving what we need to receive. And then she was saying that, yes, we need to be patient. People need to be patient. She was also urging us, if you remember, that we need to be ready. We need to get ready. And then everything, the conversations with people, anything related to our lives or our situations or our business, anything which is unfinished. She was encouraging us to get complete on those conversations. And then she was giving us the time frame of 3 and 4 months. So that was quite an important point, I feel. And then, personally, it really made me think what I need to do in my own life, what I need to get complete on, where I need to have a little urgency, because I can be procrastinating, I love procrastinating, and I can have all the stories around everything. But then since this conversation has come forward, that really made me think that actually, you know what, there is something else I need to do. I need to take things slightly differently in my life. So, listen to this conversation with that mind open, with your heart open, and then just feel, what is resonating, what is really resonating with you here, And then very often in this conversation, and even yesterday when she came forward, she really wants to educate us. So she's talking about education, and she's using the word I'm begging to the parents of children who are in schools. I did not say too much about the education part, but then I feel that she's very, very strongly wanting to give us messages, that we are responsible for what we are learning, or how we are educating ourselves with, or how we are educating ourselves, not just with, but how. And then, of course, what is happening with our children, Now, I tell you what, I did not tell you anything about how she was helping me or what kind of tips she gave me for my own life. And then she was talking about what I can do with my own work and different areas. And later on, she talks about writing, comparing her writing and other people's writings. It's quite interesting. Now, I want to remember that I want to acknowledge that she gave us a white candle for everybody in humanity, and then that we need to hold that candle light, alive, and then we need to notice that if we have somebody next to us whom we feel the frequency is not as bright, we need to help the other person to light their candle, and then light the next person's candle and the next person's candle, because we are there together. We are creating that frequency all together, So let me just go. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know whether I said anything about the color, what she gave me. Now, I quite like the way how she was talking about frequency, because I love talking about frequency, and probably that's why she's talking about frequency, and that's why that the conversation is coming forward, because she's saying, she gave me she used the word frequency, but then she gave me a color. So I was seeing, that was the time when actually I was seeing a color. I was given a color. The color she gave us was a bright yellow and orange, the mix of a bright yellow and orange. And what she's saying that is a very warm frequency, a very warm color. And then she's saying that she's giving us that color because of the healing faculty of the color, not necessarily the protection of that color. And then she's saying that everybody can, in their own mind, going into, and she was talking about the pineal gland. I mean, I know a little bit of the pineal gland. I do not know everything what one could know, but then she is giving this so that everybody can go to the pineal gland, and since we are given that frequency, she's giving us this frequency so that we can feel that brighter and warmer frequency. And then when we need that brightness in our life, we need to meditate with our pineal gland, and we need to use it as a thermostat. You can turn it on and you can turn it lower, higher and lower, and to create that frequency, depending on what we need in our individual lives. And then she's saying that it is for the healing, for the brighter energy. And then she's saying that, yes, protecting our own energy is important. But then she says that conversation, where we would have the protection energy around ourselves, that energy, that frequency, what we are experiencing right now, will run its course. And then she is really inviting and encouraging us to see further away, to feel the higher frequencies available for us. So this is what she was. But this is what she was encouraging us. That's why she was bringing that color forward. Now, I really like the way she's quite often, from time to time, she goes back to the point when she says she's very grateful. She's very grateful that she is given this opportunity to speak. And then she's saying that this is an invaluable experience that she's able to talk to us. And then she was asking us that when she knows that there's an opportunity for any of us mediums to share some information, she will be there to prepare something. So she gave me a little timeline. But to be honest, right now as we speak here on Avon Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, obviously I'm not going to have all the shows just spent on the conversation what she's giving us. Possibly from time to time I mention you key points. I'm mentioning key points. But then, to be honest, we will see what is happening. I feel that the material what she's giving us actually it's probably have to write, so I have to do something with that. But here we go. So she is talking about how much she's grateful. That she's really grateful for this experience. She how much she quite likes this experience. So let me see, and then. She's saying, I think I mentioned you this last time, that she was saying that the time when she lived and then the environment where she lived, she sometimes felt that she was not really understood. And that was the point when when nobody would understand me. And that is the time when she went into her imagination. And then she was saying that, if I could one day maybe have my own channel. So at the time when she was around, that is a notion that she was bringing forward, that she was wishing that she could have a channel where she could communicate. And then you see, a few hours earlier today, when I read this sentence, I thought that is what we are experiencing right now. Us as mediums, when we bring such conversation forward, she is given actually the opportunity as a spirit communicator to bring messages of hope and healing and teaching forward. And when she says, oh, if I could one day maybe have my own channel, this is actually what is happening right now, right here, And she was saying that I could have, and then she was saying that I could have lived my life that way, that I was given a channel of communication. And even if I don't know who's listening, that I know that I'm doing the best, I'm doing doing the right thing to speak my truth, to speak the truth. So this is what she was saying. Now, I know last time I talked to you about the relationship, how she was talking about her relationship with her father. And then for me, it was quite interesting because yesterday, the second part 2 of her conversation, she's talking more, she's sharing more. And then it's quite interesting because her own father is there as well. So he is giving us information, and it's a combination of everything. And then it's quite yesterday's conversation and is inviting to find somebody who studies or studied that part of history or studied that area where they lived. So I feel that there is a different way of communication she was referring to. So in relation to her own life, and then the father and the whole family all together. Now, let me see, because there are some pretty interesting things here. Yes, the heart. Now, last time I talked to you about, when she was mentioning that she studied biology. She studied biology, and then she had the knowledge what she needed to know about the physiology of heart and the function of the heart. And then she was saying that not everybody, even in our own time, knows what exactly the heart needs to do or why we have a heart. And then she's saying that the heart has these multi-dimensions, these multi-layers, which every single biological actually has. And if we knew this, if we knew about this, and if this information was sold in shops, this knowledge, then everybody would just rush to the shops to buy this knowledge, that knowing. And then she was saying that, why didn't I realize that I had it that way, knowing that I did not realize it when I had my physical heart, that knowledge, what my physical heart is able to do. And then she was talking about the different layers of the heart in relation to how we are asking for guidance, how we are asking for spiritual guidance, and how much we are humans trapped in our own minds, own thoughts, and own conversations. And we ask a question, or we are asking many, many questions, and we want the answer immediately. And then she was saying that how much we are working or using our own mind to ask, to have the question and to receive the answer. And then in relation to this conversation, then she was saying that actually, we need to use our own heart. We need to be in our heart space, because the heart has these multi-dimensions, not just the physical heart, what we have, but then it has different layers, different frequencies. And when we are in our heart, and then we feel our own question, and when we are sending it up, and then we are receiving that message, what we need to receive, it surpasses our mind. So we don't have to do anything with our mind, with our thinking, but this is coming back into our hearts and then finding its way through the different frequencies, the different dimensions, what we truly need to feel and sense and understand. So actually this understanding with our own heart. And then she was saying that knowledge is serving us up to a certain point, but actually when we are working with frequencies, when we are tuning ourselves into a very different dimension and different reality, then that we really have to be in our own hearts. We really need to find that space, So if you feel that, I don't know what she's talking about right now here on Oscar Radio, just use your life, use your opportunity, I know we are in 2021 and we have all the various conversations wherever you live right now on this earth. But then there's a very different conversation, a very different level of dimensions and frequencies. And then that is what is really encouraging us to find our peacefulness in our heart. So we need to meditate. As physical beings, the only thing what we can do is being present, being just present to the very, very moment we experience, not what we had 5 minutes ago, and not we are having half an hour later or tomorrow or 2 weeks time or whatever we might be thinking of. But then what is really right now, because the time is right now. The time is right. The time is right to be alive and to feel ourselves, to feel using all our senses and knowing that we are here right now. Now, it's quite interesting. I'm using this word because today for this show, when I created my little poster, I wrote, the time is right. Last time, when we put out the conversation, the beginning of this conversation, when time is right, because this is what she said when Anna Frank said 2 years ago, when the time is right, I come forward and I start teaching you. And then I know there are other great masters, higher dimensional great masters who are saying, when the time is right, I'm here to teach you. So we definitely have to work on our own frequencies, on ourselves, not the other person, not your family members, not your neighbors, not your work colleagues, nobody out there. Nobody's out there. It's only me, only my own frequency. That is what I can work on, and in the very, very moment, So when she was talking about the different layers of heart, this is what she was referring to, So if you feel like, oh, I still don't know what she's talking about, I don't understand what Zsuzsanna is talking about, I don't know why she's talking about this. My invitation is, work on your meditation practice, work on your meditation practice, and whatever it takes, give yourself a couple of minutes every single day that you give yourself that time, because we own that experience for ourselves. Because once we go, we don't take anything with us. We are not taking the books, we are not taking the cars we own, we don't take the people we live with or we choose as partners and families. We are not taking any of those, but we are taking our own frequency. So ultimately, the only reason why we are here is to work on our own frequency. These things around us, that is just the setting for this theater, what we call life. So I hope it makes sense. So just meditate, working on your meditation practice. So here we go. So that's why she was quite, I felt that's why she was quite keen on talking about the different, the multidimensional reality of the heart. It's such an amazing conversation. And then, since the frequencies, listen to this. This is what she was saying. That she was saying is, from time to time, she's just emphasizing that she's going to help us. She's here to help us with the information. And she says that if anybody wants to know about biology, just send questions. And then she was saying that it's quite funny that I'm asking you to send me a question because it is not everybody who can reach me, because I am a frequency. I am in a frequency. Because I am a frequency, I am in a frequency. And then she's saying that she's changing the frequency from time to time. She's changing her own frequency from time to time. So why she's doing it? Because this is what's working for her, because she named it a transitional time, what she's experiencing right now. And then she was saying that is easier for her to come forward. And even when we are asking a question, she's going to do her best to be there. And then if she's not there because she has duties. Now, very briefly, I want to tell you the duty, what she mentioned was that she's working in a hospital. She's working in what felt like a war hospital. And then she was saying that she's there to give healing. And then she says that there are nurses and doctors who are helping those people. It's actually how she described it's a hospital for those people who are affected by pain and misery of war, and then those people who are helping and healing or the physical body in the higher consciousness. It's quite interesting, different layers are here. She's saying that she's not there to mend the body, but then she's there because she's a frequency. And then her frequency is joy. Her frequency is joy. And then she was saying that it is the only thing she kept when she passed. she took the frequency of joy with her because that is what she was while she was here. So just think about that, So even if you, if when we think about, yes, I'm going to do things tomorrow, I'm going to call somebody, I'm going to be kind to the person next to me tomorrow, or, it's not important. But then you see from time to time, when we have conversations from people who pass, and then we are mediums, as mediums, we are channeling those frequencies. This is what's coming forward so importantly, so profoundly, that we need to have the joy, we need to make the best of our life, and then she's saying that this is the only thing what I took with me, because that was my frequency. I could not take anything else. I could not take anything else. The only thing I could take was my frequency, and that is joy. So just really meditate on this, because I feel that even just this short paragraph is quite profound to resonate with, So she's talking about many other things. I will talk to you about probably on my Facebook page, but because I know my conversation is coming to the end. And then I tell you, the very, very last thing what she gave me at the end was that she was saying something in Hebrew. Okay. Now she was giving me a chant in Hebrew, which sounded like 3 or 4 lines of a prayer. Now you need to know that I was brought up in a culture, in a society where people did not pray, or you prayed behind the doors, because it wasn't something what we would talk about, And then since I'm a Hungarian, so we have certain traditions. But then, so when something like this comes forward, I just need to give you the information, because I truly do not know. Much about what is given. But then what she was giving me here was a chant, which actually sounded like a prayer. And then she was saying that this is a very well-known prayer in Hebrew, what people would say at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. So if you understand this, if it resonates with you, then you know what she was talking about. I did not look up because I don't want to look up information. So she was saying that this is, so she was saying us a prayer, giving us a prayer here. And then at the end, she stood back, she bowed her head, and then she was back to the white light. So this is what she gave us. And then she was talking about many, many other things, which probably one way or another I find the channel to tell you about. So we are going to talk to you about this. I hope you found this interesting. Visit my webpage and find me on social media. And next week onwards, I'm going to be back for taking live callers and talking to you. And I'm sending you much love and many, many blessings. And I'm just grateful for this very present moment. Thank you. Speak to you soon.